is correct, is a way to help us, kind of douse those three fires or three poisons. And so we see like what's the issue, what's going on, and we can definitely see that with the pandemic as well. With right thought, we're aligning ourselves, with the Buddha and his teachings by understanding, when I'm encountering these situations, I need to have my thought in accord with the Dhamma or the Dharma. So the first scripture there is the bhikkhu in kindness. Can you actually make that a little bit bigger for me? I'm sorry. I'm working
Yeah.
off a small screen.
Okay.
Oh, perfect.
Let me go over here.
Thank you very much. So the bhikkhu, which is a monastic, a monk, in kindness, abiding right in the Buddha's teaching, can come to the place of peace. The bliss of the constructed cease. That's from the Dhammapada. So as we talked about yesterday, Mara, is an entity that tempted the Buddha to prevent him from becoming the Buddha, but it's also our unskillful actions, our minds, that's actually causing these three fires of greed, anger, and ignorance. So we want to not have Mara in our lives in that way. So what we're going to do today, and for the rest of our practice, is align with the right thought of the Buddha and his teachings. So when we look at our focus, we want to observe kind of like these events that are happening around us and realize, as the Buddha said in one of his sermons, all things are burning. And so he was relating to those three fires. So as we see things, we hear things, we think about things, these are like fires that are inside us, these three fires that we don't want to keep burning, and we can put them out, so we can live in nibbana or nirvana. So we want to be able to see what's actually burning around us. So we have that right thought that's aligning with the Dhamma and the Dharma. Realize that. So we realize that when that's actually happening, we're getting these fires we're seeing everywhere. That's what Mara wants. Mara wants us to be greedy, to have hatred, anger. That's what Mara wants. So when that's actually happening, we want to be mindful. Remember, our overarching theme for all of this is to be mindful in every moment, of our lives. So when we're mindful of that, we're able to see, oh, okay, this is Mara. This is Mara that's actually, flaming these three fires up that we're seeing everywhere that's consuming us. And when we realize that with a right thought and the right view, we're able to, settle those fires down, or hopefully also eliminate it altogether. And we do that, through the Buddhist teachings. He gave us his teachings. We have monastics that help us with that as well. And then when we align ourselves, yes, we're walking with the Buddha. Then we're not going to be perfect, immediately. That's not the point. That's the point of practice, is to slowly kind of get there. But we're walking with the Buddha. We're walking with monastics. We're walking with the Buddhist teachings, and we're realizing that everything is impermanent, including this pandemic. Lack of toilet paper in the stores and stuff like that. This is all impermanent. It And as Bhante talked about, yesterday, impermanence is a good thing. We want things not to last forever. Things arise and fall, depending on causes and conditions. So impermanence is actually a good thing, but sometimes we look at it as a bad thing. So for our practice for today and for the rest of the days, every day we'll do the 5 remembrances. And that's really important as well, too. Sometimes it looks very, what's a good word? Maybe like very depressing, like to hear these type of things, right? But the 5 remembrances are very important, because what it does, it helps us confront our fears. And that's a big thing. And these are the truths, we confronting our fears. And then that allows us to be able to transform that. So as soon as we confront these fears, and for a lot of people, the 5 remembrances will take time. That takes time to actually accept that. But when you do through this repetition, that helps us as we kind of go out there in the world. Then we will also meditate every single day. And so you can do that, like with us today, that's part of our practice. But yeah, you can do that, at night. You can do that, at a lunch break or something like that. Meditation is going to give us that strength, those, mental push-ups of your mind, so that you're able to center yourself, to be able to deal with these different situations in mindfulness. And then for our new practice today, so we'll have kind of like a new practice every day as well to kind of incorporate. So when you encounter a situation or thought that's unwholesome, focus on the Buddha and his teachings. And I really like this one personally. Like if you're actually in a situation where normally these three fires, this rage, where you might just get angry at somebody for doing something based upon what you believe is right or believe is not right, or whatever the case might be, think of the Buddha, think of his teachings. Also think about like what he would do as well too, or one of his monastics. It's a great way to have that right thought. And you're not going to be perfect, and that's okay. That's the point of practice. But you can kind of center yourself on the Buddhist teachings and have that as your right thought.
Okay. So I just want to kind of give a small review before we go into the meditation and we finish for the day. So yesterday and today we're focusing on right thought. Here, right thought means reflecting on the way things are, reality, which is impermanent, unsatisfactoriness, non-self. And we take refuge in our actions as the only thing that we kind of, to a certain degree, possess. So we should have this in mind. Today, what we added is the right thinking or intention. So the right thinking and intention, the Buddha said that it's the intention of renunciation or letting go, the intention of loving kindness, and the intention of compassion. So for today's new practice, focusing on the Buddha and his teachings, the Buddha and the teachings are simply the embodiment of renunciation, loving kindness, and compassion. So when we think about the Buddha, we can think about how the Buddha was able to let go of everything, how the Buddha had such a great amount of benevolence and loving kindness towards all beings. And we can think about the Buddha's great compassion also. And we can find comfort in that. And we can take that as the ideal and aspire to be like that. Although it's very difficult for us to be like that all the time, and it's a difficult standard to meet, we can take refuge in that and we can draw from that when we find ourselves in difficult times. So thinking about the Buddha is not just thinking about a picture of a person with their legs crossed and hoping for the best. No, it's recognizing what the Buddha means, what the teachings mean, and trying to embody it. So when we really do the focus on the Buddha and his teachings, we're focusing on the ideals. What does the Buddha represent? What is the Dhamma? And trying to take that in and trying to become that and manifest the Buddha to whatever degree we can, right? If you can just bite your tongue, that's the Buddha biting his tongue, and that's fine, right? So now I'd like to invite you to join us for the formal meditation practice. So the instructions are also in the manual. If you like, you can follow those. Or you can do your own meditation practice. If you have your own breathing or loving kindness or vipassana or chanting mantra, that's fine too. This space is really for you to meditate. But for those of you that want to try something new or don't have a meditation practice, I'd like to invite you just to kind of focus on the breath and count the breath. So when you inhale, you can count it. And when you exhale, you can relax. So that's what we're going to be practicing today. When you breathe in, 1, breathe out, relax. Breathe in, 2, breathe out, relax. And if you notice that your mind wandered, that's fine. Just start over from number 1. We're not trying to, have a perfect score or anything. We're just working on developing our ability to be aware. So I'm going to ring the bell and we can practice this counting of the breath for about 5 to 6 minutes. Let's begin. Now that your mind is calm, body is relaxed, you can bless yourself with your calm mind. You can bless yourself by recognizing that you started off the day in a wholesome, harmonious way. Take refuge in your actions, in these wholesome actions that you did this morning. Take refuge in your good thoughts. Take refuge in your peace of mind. And take refuge in the practice. The practice can be our support throughout the day. And I invite you to come back to the practice throughout the day, through your breaks, while you're driving in the car, having lunch, even going to the restroom. A couple of seconds of just returning to this state of mind can be a refuge for us, a place of safety, a place of inspiration. So you can come out of your meditation now. Alan, is there anything else?
Nothing else really. Thank you to everybody for coming out again. I know a lot of people will be watching us on YouTube as well because it is early for a lot of people. So if anybody has any comments, either now or later, you can put that into the YouTube comments, and we'd be happy to help you with your practice, respond to that as well, or anything that you want to share as you're going through these days, what you've actually encountered, how this is helping you as well. And also, we just created a brand new graphic last night for the Five Remembrances or Five Reflections, and that's available as part of the download packet as well. So you should have got an email from me last night if you already downloaded it. But it's a way you can kind of have that, up on your wall, or just somewhere that you can always see it, and you can always do these five, remembrances or five reflections anytime that you want to.
Yeah, so if try to download the 14-day planner so you can read it throughout the day. I also invite you to rewatch the video if you like and share it with others. If you know anyone else that might be interested. I know it's a little bit early for us, so those people in the West Coast. But yes, please watch the video again if you like at your own time, and please also read the planner so you can follow along at home with us. And if you joined us a little bit later, that's fine. You can rewatch this on YouTube. It should be up within the next 40 minutes. So I think that's it for today. And I hope to see everyone at the same time tomorrow. May you be well, happy, comfortable, and peaceful. Bye-bye.
Bye.